to see about OOJS concept in JavaScript. Actually, JavaScript is a prototype-based language. It means that it have a properties and methods we can share with the another class or object. It may be cloned and extended by another class. Now we can see about some important topics in object-oriented JavaScript. They are class, object, constructor, and inheritance. Now we see about how to define class in JavaScript. Actually, we can define two ways in class. One is using function and another one is using class keyword. Actually, we can define the class using function also. Here you see I define the constant emp is equal to function. We can define like this also, and we can define function emp. We can define the class this one using function keyword, and we can define the class using like this also. You can constant emp is equal to class or class emp is equal to function. We can define the class both the ways in JavaScript. Let me see about how to create object in JavaScript. Here I have syntax that object name is equal to new class name. Here I am creating object for employee class. Here I define that constant e1 is equal to new emp. Actually, e1 is the class object for accessing the data member function in the object of the class. Let me see about the constructor and how I will define the function inside the class. Here I define function emp and I will define the two parameters. Actually, this is the constructor. I am not define anything emp. This is the class name and with two parameters constructor. I have defined name and destination and assign that is that, and after that I printed that values. After that I creating the object, whereas constructor is automatically called when a first object is created. Here let me see about the example for this. Let me see what is the output of this program in let me see. I will paste that code here. Actually, I define the constructor emp and I call the constructor with two parameters. Let me see the output for this program. Actually, we will get the output of Prabha and developer. We will get the output for this. Okay. Once again, I need to change this program. I need to save this program. It's showing lost output. I need to save this program. You see, Prabha and developer is the program output. Let me see how to define the function with this function keyword. Here we need to define functions using here we need to use the functions using class name emp dot prototype dot what is your function name. I am defined that show is the my function name. After that I define as function. After that I will write the code for showing both the values in function, so that I pasted that both the values. Constructor will assign the values to the variable and show function will show the value. Here let me see how to call this function using function. I need to call that through object. Here I define call the functions through e1. Let me see the output for this. Once again I will check. I need to check what is the error here. Actually, name of show is undefined here. Here prototype. Here is the spelling mistake is there. I need to define prototype. Let me see. We have the Prabha and developer. We get the output for this. Here I define the class and then define the class name using that function, and then I call that function using the using the that object. Okay, let me see about how to define that constructor using class keyword. Here we can define that with class keyword, and I can change this program using the class. Yeah, here I need to define class, after that class name, after that I need to open this, after that I need to close this. I need to change this function emp equal to constructor. Yes, the constructor is the keyword for defining the constructor. Okay, after that I am defining the name. After that I will define as usual function here. Within the class I need to define function show. I define that. So here I define the class using class keyword. I am using class emp. I open this class. I define the constructor using constructor keyword. After that function show I define. Here I am printing both the name and function. I created the object for this, and then I created I am calling the show function using the E1 object. That is the object of the emp. Let me see the output for this. Yeah, we have some error is actually function show unexpected identifier. Let me see this bug. What is this? Once again, I have an issue as a function. We never give the function below the before the show. You should give the function name, that is enough, inside the class name. You just see here I define the two functions. Class employee, I define the constructor as parameterized. I will assign the value here, and then I define the show function here. I showing both the values in this, and then I define var e1 is equal to new employee. I am creating the object for that. After that I will show the example e1.show. Okay, let me see about how I will use this in inheritance concept in both the using functions and class keyword. Let me see about it. Actually we see in this one defining methods using class. We seen about that. Next we seen about inheritance. The main purpose of the inheritance is the reusability of the code. Actually one class according the properties of the another class, it can accessible and addable by the derived class. Okay, here we see about how it is working in using function. Okay, using function keyword. Here you see and just copy it and paste this code. Actually here I define the employee department as the class. I already defined the employee as the class. Department class will occupy the properties of employee. It's have the name and designation already defined its constructor. Here I define function emp as the I defined this one. After that I define the another class function department. It's have a 3 parameter, and I call these through this constructor. This is called the chain constructor called with this. Actually it will call this constructor will call the constructor of the emp class. Here I define that emp dot call this name command description, which means that name and descriptions will be assigned this employee class, and then this means the department name will be assigned this. Okay, let me see about this. After that I had a show function, added the one function for department class, and then showing all the assigned the value in this class. Here I define the object for department, and it will show the all the name, designation and address details with this. Let me see the output for this. I save this. Just see here, Prabha and developer and IT. This is the name. This is the designation. This is the department I defined here. Okay, let me see about how it's working with inheritance is working with class keyword. Actually, the class keyword is similar to other programming languages. Let me see about this in this example. Actually, if we want to extend the properties of another class, just we need to use extend keyword. Here you see, emp is the class I already defined is the constructor name and designation. I created the another one class named as department. Here I defined the constructor within that name, designation and department name. Here I am using super keyword. Here super keyword is used to call the parent class. Here whenever the super class is called, here automatically call the parent class property or parent class function. Here this is used to call the parent class constructor and the department name I assign. Actually here I no need to define the function. I just need to give show. After that I define the show function. I enter. It will show the all the details of assigned name, designation and department name. Okay, let me see the output for this. Then I will create the object for department and I then call the show method. Let me see the output for this. Yeah, once again it's showing super keyword unexpected here. I will check about that. Actually, I need to extend the property of the that class so that it's showing that error extends AMP. I need to inheritance the properties of that AMP. Let me see the output for this. Here that is executing proper and developer, and it will show the details of the name, designation and department. It's clear details about the this is the clear details about the class object and how it's working inheritance. It will clear video about that. Thank you.